Scottish professional wrestling is booming right now. Up and down the country, there's amazing show after amazing show, week in and week out, with countless stars being created as a result. Some rise to be the cream of the crop, some fall flat on their face, and the rest make me want to be like Jeff Hardy at Extreme Rules 2008. Hello sister. Nonetheless, there's a whole host of incredible talent just waiting to burst through the proverbial glass ceiling. The best part is, no two are similar. They've all got their own unique talents that set them apart from everyone else. If that means coming out dressed in a cape and crown, then so be it. They're still set apart from everyone else, especially in my heart. The amount of training schools in Scotland means more and more stars are being born, a seemingly never-ending crop. It means you're sometimes struggling to keep up with who's doing what, asking yourself such questions as, hang on, is that Grant from round the corner doing the wrestling there? Yes, Sandra. Yes it is, and actually, I'll have you know, he's been doing the wrestling for a while now, so the correct term is of course, #still doing the wrestling. Anyway, this is 10 Scottish wrestlers you need to keep your eyes on. Number 10. Connor Ingalls. Connor Ingalls debuted in January 2019 and is already one of the biggest fan favourites in WrestleZone today. If that doesn't tell you all you need to know about him, I don't know what more you want, it's just pure greed. Since accepting the open challenge from Crusher Craig at that year's Summerhill Showdown, Ingalls has gone on to be a prime example of why the WrestleZone Training Academy is the place to train. His feud with Crusher was truly sensational. Every interaction between them built more and more tension. When Connor ended his year with multiple pinfall victories over our former two-time undisputed champion, it became clear that the powers that be had big plans in mind for him. This came true 2 months later when he lifted the Tag Team Championships alongside the very man he had defeated. With a gorgeous flying forearm and an even better frog splash, Connor would be a massive name in WrestleZone for years to come. Number 9. Emily Hayden. If you gave me the question 12 months ago of which Scottish wrestler I thought had come on leaps and bounds, I would have said Emily Hayden. The last while has seen the first lady of the sensational Scenebirds really come out of her shell, where she's got Christopher Saint and Darryl Costello by her side, or everyone's favourite toaster, Toasty. As a current double women's champion, WrestleBeach is sadly never classed as one of the big female performers in Scotland, standing behind Viper, Kaylee Ray and Sami Zayn. Emily deserves to have all the eyes on her, just not in a creepy way like Luke Harper's old Titantron. While she's currently banned from fierce female shows, which, let's face it, is a true tragedy, Emily will stop at nothing to make her presence felt. Number 8. Zero. Zero is a creepy bastard. That's no surprise considering he was trained by Mikey Whiplash, a fellow creepy bastard. While his in-ring work is impeccable, his promos are enough to get him on this list. You're hooked on every word he says, and with the added production values during them, they become even easier to draw you in and make you realise Zero is one to watch. He deserves to be placed on these big platforms. Sure, he debuted for ICW on the pre-show of Fear and Loathing 12, but that wasn't really the big coming out moment for Zero. The prospect of having Zero featured in the main event scene of a major company such as ICW is something we can only dream of for now. Seeing as he's putting in the graft behind closed doors, that dream will soon become reality. Number 7. Donnie Edwards. I'm not exactly saying this list is perfect, but when you include the proof of perfection himself, it's basically a perfect list. Donnie Edwards is fast becoming the brightest upstart in Scottish wrestling, which was helped by the fact he defeated Daz Black to win PWI's Young Lions tournament. When you're winning a tournament that is precisely being used to showcase the future of wrestling across this fine nation, it's hard not to recognise that accomplishment as something truly remarkable. Donnie is known to go to any means required to win his matches, as evident when he used a low blow on Daz to win that match, as well as a distraction from his pals in big money enterprises Dean Ford and Matt Tyson. Sure, he may not always be the despicable dick we all know him to be. Here he is running for the hills away from TJ Rage, but he's more than capable of hanging with the best of them in any. Number 6. Rain. Who would have imagined the forecast for this list would be a cloudy overcast, complete with a bit of rain? Yeah, you better believe we're going with the puns. Believe it or not, I'm not just including Rain because she's got a cracking entrance song. She's one of the fastest rising stars in Scotland today, starting her training at the Glasgow Pro Wrestling Asylum before moving to the PBW Academy. The Granite Bruiser, a moniker given to her by our very own Billy, is now at the top of the women's division in both Fair City Wrestling and Scottish Wrestling Entertainment, so you'd have to imagine that she'll be one of the contenders to be the first FCW Women's Champion. She's already in the finals of the SWE Empress Division Championship Tournament against Sami Zayn, so why not have her be 2 belts reign? Let's go next one to it. Number 5. Omar Mohammed. When he's not making my life absolute hell with the graphics for the SWN 128 Wrestler Mega Tournament of Doom trademark, Omar Mohammed is a flipping great wrestler. I'm not one to lie, so I will happily admit I didn't have a clue who he was this time last year, but I'm glad to report that fact has changed. The first glimpse I got of the Asian sensation came at WrestleZone Proving Grounds in July 2019 when he took on Kaleb Valhalla. More on him in just a moment. Mohammed was an absolute delight in that match, busting out all sorts of mesmerising offense. Now training under Andy Wilde at the Fife Pro Wrestling Asylum, Omar recently wrestled on GPWA's £5 wrestling show in February against fellow FPWA lad Talon Jr., a match that won the February Match of the Month award in the SWN monthly poll. Regardless of if he comes to the ring alone or with a million managers, Omar Mohammed will be one of the biggest names in Scotland in the years that follow. Number 4. Kaleb Valhalla. In the words of Vince McMahon himself, look at that beef. Kaleb Valhalla has become a massive fan favourite at SWN Towers even before the name Kaleb Valhalla existed. Remember that big boy who manhandled Allen and William Sterling at Battle of the Nations 2018? Kaleb Valhalla. As we saw, destroying people became Kaleb's life motto, something that Lord Mr. Malice sadly felt firsthand. Grouped as the bodyguard for Captain Allen, Valhalla has remained one of the highlights of every WZ show he's on, no matter what he's doing. One minute he's tossing Robbie Solar across the ring, and the next, he's part of the biggest test of strength in WrestleZone history. It's only a matter of time before he finally snaps and attacks the man who proclaims it's all about Allen, especially if Sterling costs Kaleb another championship match. Who in their right mind would actually mess with Kaleb? Number 3. Angel Hayze. In the last few months, Angel Hayze has risen to become one of the biggest names in Scottish wrestling. Becoming a regular for ICW, the young lioness is an asset to any show she appears on, making history at every corner. She recently became the first female holder of the Shield Pro Wrestling Almost Pro Championship, while also becoming the first female entrant in the PBW King or Cruisers match last October. Even though she never won that match, it was still a history-making event and one that may never be redone. When life resumes, Angel is no doubt going to win the vacant ICW Women's World Championship, unless Casey gets another reign, because, well, why not? The time to pull the trigger on Angel is now, at least it was before the world imploded. Number 2. Leighton Buzzard. Before you start typing away in the comments, oh, Leighton's not even Scottish, he's English, you fool. Yes, I'm fully aware. However, seeing as he moved to Scotland to begin his career, the captain is very much deemed a Scottish wrestler, and a damn good one at that. He knows exactly how to play to a crowd. The best part is, he knows exactly how good he is. He's the total package. Charismatic, agile, easy to love and or hate. The guy just has it all. Deeming himself little sexy, you know, because he's considerably smaller than the real big sexy, the Great Khali. His reign with the ICW 0G Championship perhaps should have been a bit longer than just under 2 months, but hey, at least he's in the history books forever. And number 1, Daz Black. There's perhaps no greater rising talent in the UK today than Daz Black. A product of the PBW Academy, the Orbit Breaker has been making waves for some time now. Busting out flips all over the place that would make Randy Orton turn in his grave, Black is capable of stealing each and every show he's on. Just take a look at his recent ICW clashes with both Kieran Kelly and Craig Anthony. Anytime you see Daz booked on a show, you just know you're in for a treat. He could literally go up against QT Marshall and still get a decent match. That's how good he is. Before the world came to a crashing halt, Daz was booked to face Leighton Buzzard to decide Liam Thompson's next challenger for the ICW 0G Championship. When the world isn't being torn apart, you just know that Black will be a major contender in that division. Having the Curb Stomper as the face of your division would put plenty of butts in seats. Daz has all the tools needed to succeed in the business. He just needs these big platforms to showcase them.